folks, been a while, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have a look quickly, see what's on this and something else. See you in the review. So, what do we have here then? Look at that. As you can see, I've had to put an extension on it because the person I got this from didn't include any spare links. This is a Pulsar VD57. It's got slow seconds chronograph, high hand. It's a Seiko. Push the top button in. Stop it with the top button. There we go. There's minutes up there, perpetual seconds there, and the high hand does the seconds for the chronograph. And look at that, isn't that a nice modern sort of... The lume in it isn't very good, it's quite weak, so... But, I mean, it is a Seiko. It just says on the back, Pulsar by Seiko. It's like a kind of a lobster design, is what I think they call this. Yeah, I paid £8 for this, and all I've had to do is give it a bit of a polish, and you know, do some like grind, like, you know, like some cerulean oxide on the glass because it was atrociously scratched. It still is quite badly scratched, but. I quite like it. So I had to put an extender in it because there was missing a link, but I have actually found a very similar link to this, so what I've got to do is just slightly shape it. So, you know, this cost delivered £8. This was on second chance because the person who was the winning bidder decided they didn't want it. And what was wrong with it was all that second hand there, the high hand second hand was down here. That was set to something awful, like, you know, and the perpetual seconds were stuck. So I went inside, I found the AC point and the battery, and I put a set of tweezers over it, and seconds started moving again. Closed it all back up again. And then when you like on these Seikos, you put it to the first notch, you can set second or the date. Right, you know, so you can zero it in very, very easily. Right, you know, you put it to the second position, right, and you hold this down until a hand does something. The first time is the higher hand, second hand will like spin round once. And then every time you press it, right, no, it's this one. Every time you press it, you can either hold it in and it goes for a slow and then fast spin round, or you can just do it in single increments, so you get it very, very precisely on the spot. And when you want to go to the next one, hold that one down until, in this case, the second dial, the second out, clock, would you say? It like the hands go around like once again, and then you like push this like in, hold it in, spins around quite fast, do it by precise increments, and you know, you get what it means, like, you know. I think that's like, you know, that's a lovely piece of like equipment, that is. I'm quite happy with it. Very nice bracelet. Just a shame it was missing one link. Never mind. Right, on to the next. Right, so what we have, I hit Aldi's today because I saw this the other day and I went back. A bit past myself. Ferrex digital multimeter. Now I have opened this and I've put my the battery in it. Battery comes because battery came supplied. You get the unit. You get a full user manual and a full warranty card as well. That's the boring stuff. And there's the leads. It's like an unboxing in this. It's quite thick. Got very nice fine points on the actual lead ends. I don't know if you can see that. What I spotted was on the back of this case. There's like storage things for leads. Also, there's a very handy light, so you can stand it up like that. It's push button on and off. I'm not sure how you do this. I see, you put the prongs in the back. There. There's obviously set up for you having it on the bench sort of thing. I'm not sure I like those. That's quite clever, isn't it? Ah! There's like little caps. Little protective caps. That's quite clever. I quite like that. Right, well, I'm finished with the box for the moment. I'm not going to make this a long one, so don't worry, folks. Let's put you down there. There we go. This costs £10. It's actually £9.99. I don't know any of the functions as yet. Right, they're not the easiest to see. It is on and off. Let's put the stand up. Yeah, I quite like that. That's quite, you know. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna, like, you know, like, that can be another video, like, you know, where I can bore you how to use one of these things, like, you know, but, like, you know, I will like come back to this again, like, you know, show you how I'm getting on with it. It does mean as well that I can keep my Cropico, which is Croydon, what's it, precision company, like November 1967, what's it, avometer, for good, like, you know, because that is very, very precise. But like, I worry about using that on you know, things like the car or something, because it is really good. Right, but it's more of a what's it, it's more upper end sort of thing. There's this, like, you know, this is a tenner, it's got fuses, it's got, like, you know, nice and easy to look at, like a circuit board. So I should imagine that this one would be quite easy to repair. So there you go, the Ferrex digital multimeter. It says compact digital multimeter with detachable holster and 2 measuring tips with measuring cable, large 11-digit LCD display for measuring current, voltage and resistance. It says on the back, it says compact digital multimeter with detachable holder and holster and 2 measuring clips with measuring cable. Oh. Large 11-digit, like we've done that one, like diode test, battery test and continuity test with integrated sound signal. 9-volt block battery, which is a PP9. What's it? No, it's PP3. Included. Measurement ranges are DC volts, 200 microvolts, 2 volts, 20 volts, 200 volts and 300 volts. That's in DC. AC voltage, 2 volts, 20 volts, 200 volts and 300 volts. Alternating current, this is current, like, not voltage, is 2 microamps, 20 microamps, 10 amps and 200 milliamps. Direct current, 200 so actually I think I'd be saying micro when it should be, like, you know. Alright, so this is a micro rather, 2 milliamps, 20 milliamps, 10 amps and 200 milliamps. Battery test, 1.5 volts to 9 volts. That's obviously for, like, you know, like silly batteries, like, you know. Resistance, 200 ohms, 2 kilo ohms, 20 kilo ohms, 200 kilo ohms, 2 mega ohms, 20 mega ohms. It's produced in China for Aldi stores limited, PO box, whatever, blah 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 blah. Like, widely recyclable, but the bag that it came in isn't. That's strange, because, like, there is no bag, so how could it be recyclable? Right, if there's not a bag there, right, you know. It's got guarantee for, like, you know, reasonable time. I mean, you know, it's the sort of thing, if it blows up, it don't matter. It really don't matter. Right, you know. So that's the Ferrex digital multimeter for £9.99. at Aldi superstores here in the UK. And there you go. And I really have wanted one that you just turn off like that. So we'll cover this further on another one, and we'll go on to the next. So look at that. See, that looks a lot better, like, you know, in that context, like, you know. See, I like Pulsar stuff. They're very, very bold, futuristic, like, designs, you know. They were like the bit more the trendy part of Seiko. I mean, in the 80s, like Pulsar, like, you know, they were very, very popular. You know, and of course, like Pulsar were a James Bond watch as well. Right? So I think that's beautiful. This I am pleased as punch with. I don't know why it's got that kind of like funny colour, because it don't make any difference, but it's just like, I don't know. Just give it a wipe, see if it just cleans itself up. It must be some sort of oil or film on it, like, you know. I mean, look, you know, it's the wands. Just pull it out, you know, do that. You know, do the old my mate Vince wizardry. You know, it's got a nice firm click. Apparently you're supposed to leave it up there. Like other ones, it doesn't seem to have the thing for testing of transistors and that. I suppose you just do it with those. Right. That's very nice. It's really strange actually, because like on the rubber shockproof case there's a stand which comes out like that, yeah. But on the case of this, if you take it out, there's another stand. So I suppose that means if you're washing it or you get acid on it or something like that, you don't want near this, then, you know, it's got quite a pleasant looking thing. So £9.99 in Aldi's at the moment. Like, you know Aldi's are like Lidl's, they don't have it in all the time. So, you know, I think that's definitely worth a double thumbs up. So I think Pulsar is definitely worth a double thumbs up for an £8 delivered, like, you know, Seiko, just because it's got a word starting with P instead of S. Still a Seiko. Very weird what that was. It's saying about the bag isn't recyclable. What bag? So here we go. So I don't know how you've all been keeping, like, you know. I mean, everything's been a much of a muchness. Like, if I haven't upped it by now, I am upping the video, just showing the filth that is up against the side of my flat, like, you know. And I'm hoping very much that I've also got that grassing bastard across the way, because I'm waiting for him to throw some rubbish. He's got some rubbish outside his place, and I'm waiting for that to appear in the bin sheds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it back either over his fence, or I'm going to throw it through the screen of his van, like, you know, and say, oh, we don't want your shit, so, like, you know, you can have it back, right? And he will be mercilessly, you know, I've decided I'm going to allow myself this one, like, you know, he will be mercifully, like, decried to the housing people, like, you know, and possibly the police. So, you know, this is what happens when you grasp one of mine. You earn it back 10, 20, 30 times. Right, baby time grapher. This is the new cable. It went from sort of like failing, like, you know, sort of thing. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely spot on. It picks up straight away. 4 bars on the signal strength. No problems at all. This is an OFC, which is oxygen free copper. Aftermarket 4-pole mount a male, like, you know, extension lead from Mike. Right, it transformed this thing overnight, like, you know. This is now very good, and I'm very pleased with that, like, you know. And I have been working and getting some, you know, I've been putting all sorts of things up on it, like, you know. I'm very pleased with that. So if you get one of these, oh, by the way, that's a USB sound card, you will need one of those. So I do have something coming on the way along this lines. I spotted it last night. Now there's a company in Britain that does something called the Watchoscope, and somebody was actually got the circuit board for their, like, you know, their custom thing, right? And it's got all the instructions and everything for £5. I thought, I'll have that, like, you know. That means I could have not one, but I could have 2 time graphers, right? And it'll use the same leads and stuff like that, like, you know. I've got everything else for it. The only thing I need to do is buy some components and solder them on. Not a problem. So, you know, like, I know that will be a video, I promise you, on that one. Right. Stop the whiners like Gary. I'm watching you, Gary. Yeah. I might put that kebab down and that triple cheeseburger down, like, you know, and listen. Right. I've bought a couple of flags. To reflect my Scottish side of me, I've got a a Scottish saltire, right, which will go on the wall behind, and I've also managed to find a Blue Squadron, small Blue Squadron, proper Royal Navy ensign, right, you know, which is blue, of course, because, you know, Admiral of the Blue and all that. Right, but it's got St George's Cross on it, so people say, oh, you're not supporting England, like, you know. So, but, and that's like, you know, and that means like, yeah, stop the whiners like Gary saying, oh, you don't support, you know, because it keeps on going on about my Soviet flag. So the Soviet flag will be moved above my bed, like, you know, and I'll move the Navy ensign where that is, and I'll put the saltire on the other bit of the wall, like, you know. And I'll see if I can get it all in, but we shall see. So I'm gonna like give everybody a wave, right, you know. Said to the Tories, they can all go, right, you know, go and fuck themselves. Right. I mean, now they're trying to bring back the identity cards. I mean, what a load of arseholes, like, you know. Winston Churchill, an arch Tory that even Thatcher admires, in the 50s abolished identity cards and national identity registers, because he turned around and in his own words he said these are tools of the despotic dictatorships, and he referenced the Nazis and he referenced the Soviet party, Communist Party and stuff, and he said identity cards are a tool of the evil dictator. Right, now, if you think about that, and if you think about what they're trying to do today, why is nobody turning and say, well, hold on a minute, Winston Churchill said this was a bit of a bad idea? Because what it means is it means money, right, you know, because it means that you and me will have to pay for these stupid cards, right, because you won't get nothing for free. Right, you know, you're going to have to pay for photographs, you're going to have to pay for documentations, you're going to have to pay for, no doubt, interviews like you have to do with bloody passports, right? And you'll have to pay for the card itself. It is a way of taxing the people by stealth. And, you know, people on disability or on normal benefits and stuff like that, they ain't going to be able to afford this, so then they will lose out because they won't be able to get their, like, job seekers, and they won't be able to, like, apply for jobs. And in a way, it is going to create a subclass of people that just won't be able to function, and they will fall off. They will fall through the cracks in the net, you know. And they'll like everything in America, in California, like, you know, they've got a tent city. It's 10,000 people. That's what we've got coming back over here, because these people won't be able to access government aid. They won't be able to live somewhere because they haven't got the card to show these people. And this is why, you know, identity cards, you know, are very, very, very bad. So, you know, if you get a chance, vote your conscience, write to your MP, write to your council, say, I don't agree with them. Like, you know, if you do agree with them, that's okay. But, you know, trust me on this. Like, you know, you are surrendering a hell of a lot for one piece of plastic. You know, wasn't it Benjamin Franklin who turned around and said, like, you know, those that, surrender, like, safety for security deserve neither. Like, you know, and there was another person who says, when you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. and that's what they're doing. They're waggling, like, you know, the Russian thing and all that. Yeah, like, you know, there's this thing, like, you know, going on at the moment, like, you know, there's me going on the other day about, like, you know, Novichok, like, poisoning people in Salisbury. Right, now how about this, yeah? This foreign bloke, like, you know, in like, he was flying from Siberia to Moscow, and he became ill on the plane. Now, you know, automatically the British government has turned around and said, oh, it's Putin, it's Putin, it's Putin. Like, you know, it's not like that. The bloke who invented Novichok, when he run from, when he like escaped Russia and went to the West, he wrote a book, right? And in that book, he included not only the formula, the makeup, the actual molecular makeup of the actual substances of what Novichoks were, but how to make it, the methodology and everything else. If you want to make Novichok, all you need is a reasonable like skill with chemistry. Like you don't even need like a decent lab, you know, and you just need the ingredients, and you know, you could do it in your own home, you know. But because it's Novichok, the government is automatically saying, oh, it's Putin, it's Putin, it's Putin. That says to me, that's a trigger, that's a warning, and I'd be saying to myself, why are they so certain when nobody has turned around and said, like, you know. And I mean, in the West, like, you know, the people who are making Novichok is Porton down. People over in America, they're making it as well. The Czechoslovakians, they got caught out last year, or was it year before rather, like, you know, they've been making it. The Poles, they've been making it. You know, well, that's strange, isn't it? Especially the Poles, like, they're so far up America's arse at the moment, like, you know, and of course they'd increased their stocks of, you know, this stuff, like, you know, massively. Like, you know, I can imagine that a lot of them have got stuff left over from the days of the Soviet, like the Ukraine, Georgia and stuff like that. You know, people have come along and bought it. So don't believe everything you hear. Like, you know, if Putin wanted this geezer dead, right, he's not going to go through, like, you know, all this stuff with the thing. He would have had somebody knock him off. There's no rhyme or reason, like, you know, why Putin would choose to shoot himself in the foot in such a way. And that says to me that somebody else is trying to stir a cauldron. Because, you know, Putin, he's got at his control, he's got hundreds of thousands of people working with him with guns, and, like, you know, he's got professional hitmen and all the rest of it. Like, you know, why would he need to poison somebody with Novichok? You know, and again, the symptoms of this bloke coming on the plane do not match of Novichok. They just match a poison. You know, it could be any poison. It could be strychnine. It could have been, you know, so all the rest of it. You know, it could have been arsenic. There's a million things it could have been. You know, it could have been he had something like shellfish and he's actually allergic to it. You know, I mean, it could have had peanuts. Every time you eat peanuts, there's a very, very tiny chance that you will become automatically allergic and have an anaphylactic reaction to peanuts. And I mean, you're like... But no, they know best, you know. And when they start jumping a gun like this, this says to me that this is a fix. This is a frame-up. And, you know... What they're trying to do is they're trying to, like, you know, crush Russia, you know, for their own avarice, because Donald Trump's willy isn't, like, getting hard over stuff, like, you know, because it looks like Donald Trump's going to get booted out, and it looks like Boris Johnson's going to get booted out. Well, I can't wait for the day. Anyway, enough of politics and stuff like that. Keep your eyes open. Start analysing stuff, you know, like, objectively, and you will start to see the world as it really is. You know, it's amazing how Britain has turned around and said, oh yes, it was Novichok. They haven't had access to the blood tests and all the rest of it in Germany. So how is it that Britain knows? I mean, what's it got, like Mystic Meg sort of film, septic peg, like with a crystal ball? Oh yes, it was Novichok. Oh, you know, the evil Russians, they did it. It was Putin. Look, here he is in the crystal ball. You know? It's all bollocks. Anyway, I will catch you in the next one. Look after yourself, stay safe. Alright, you know, lockdowns mean you can't sniff people's armpits just yet. Like, you know, and beware Gary's, because, you know, well, trust me, like, you know, strange things go on under there, like, you know, and strange things have disappeared in there as well. Like, I mean, you think, you know, they had to find that a home for that kraken out of that, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean film. Let's just say, like, you know, he was paid 50p for that, like, you know, which means he has to put petrol in his Vespa. Be lucky. See you next one.